Good evening everybody and welcome to a new season of the PMRL Racing League. We are here at Barber Motorsports Park for the first race of Season 3. It's gonna be a very interesting race here at this roller coaster of a racing course here in Alabama. But looking at the track right away, because we're gonna dive into the action right away as well. 3.6 kilometer track. Track temperature is 30 degrees with an altitude of 189 meters above sea level. It is located in Leeds, Alabama, and of course it is a road course, which is going to be host of round 1 of the season. I'm Julian Altena and I'm going to be your commentator all season long. So welcome, and really we're going to be in for a great ride on this roller coaster track as well as this season. So we're going to get the timing tower up right away as well. There we go. Oh. So we got 20 minutes of qualifying to kick off this season with, which is going to set the starting grid for tonight's race. It's going to take a while to get used to the new teams, the new drivers, so we're going to try to get you guys up to speed on that one. But let's do our usual season opening stuff. So that's going to walk you guys through the schedule. Here you can see it, 67 laps on the menu tonight for Barber. Next week we go into the Isle, which is a very nice short oval, which is going to be an interesting race to say the least. Probably a lot of cautions on that one. We got Nürburgring coming up as well, which is going to be the first time this league goes there, I believe, as well. So there's going to be 48 laps scheduled for that night. Then we go to Indianapolis on the 23rd of February. And then we have a street course race at Detroit, 56 laps around the streets of Belle Isle. Then we have a week off. Of course, all the drivers need to recharge and regroup, so they can go again for 5 more weeks, because then they're going to Silverstone, the second oval of the season, the third oval of the season, I should say, at Autocross Speedway. The second of the 3 Triple Crown races, by the way. Then we go to Watkins Glen again, which was host to the final race of last season, which we also covered, by the way. Then we go to Pocono, the final race of the Triple Crown, and then the final race of the season at Laguna Seca. That's the schedule. Of course, this season, I'm picking up the broadcasting duties. Of course, Trevor used to the Virtual Racing Network. Due to circumstances, he wasn't able to do so anymore, so here we are on this channel. Glad to have you guys over here on the PMRL YouTube channel. Currently though in qualifying, Daniel Dinsdale, the champion of last season, on the top of the scoring board once again. 6/100ths clear of Henry Bennett, who is making another appearance in this league. He's been racing in the PMRL for a few times in the league's history. Not full time though, but doing some races when he can. So whilst we are in qualifying, it's all nice and calm for now. Of course, the race is going to get underway in about 15 minutes. Let's bring in a very nice slideshow, because Vopsy iRacing Paints is the sponsor of this race. It is the race of Barber. We're going to bring up the slideshow right now, looking through some of the paints that Vilda has made. You can check her out on Instagram at Vopsy iRacing Paints, I believe it is. Let me just check that. But you can see these iRacing paints mainly on the Indycar, and she does a great job with them. It's Vopsy lowercase iRacing on Instagram. You can contact her over there and get a livery made. Of course, she also does different cars, not just the Indycar, which you can see right here. So if you want an iRacing paint job done, Vilda is the place to be. A few of these drivers are also racing with her paints, so they look great. I know that she's also made some for Oscar, my friend and teammate. So going back into qualifying action here. Looking at Will Lyon on his qualifying runs. So this is an open qualifying session. The drivers will have 20 minutes in total. Of course, there's already 6.5 minutes gone of those minutes on the board, but they get as many laps as they like with a 25-litre fuel tank, I believe it is, or 20. And they can go as fast as they want. Of course, that's what you need to do in qualifying. Some people prefer to hang out in the back though. So currently seeing 7 viewers in chat. Welcome everybody. Glad to have you all with us here on the PMRL channel. Ten races up ahead for this league, which is, as we just covered, it's going to be an interesting schedule featuring many different tracks and track types, which is only going to create more excitement. So of course I already broadcasted Watkins Glen for the Crown Radiant Racing League. If there are any issues with the broadcast, please feel free to let me know. And I will make adjustments as soon as I can. Of course, want to optimize everything for everybody. Which brings me to the following. The onboard sound levels. I made sure to adjust those because on my previous broadcasts on a different channel they were a little bit too loud, so let me know if these are fine or not. But that's Will Lyon going into the pits. Reigning series champion, sporting the number 1. Let's see what Sam Blackwood is up to. Sam is one of the faster drivers in the field, but luck doesn't always go his way. But definitely a driver that has the speed on basically any track. Just struggles to really put a complete race together, which is something that I know that he's working on, because Sam definitely has the talent to be right up there and fight for the top positions. As he flies through the back straight chicane, which is flat out in these cars. This is really going up towards the roller coaster now. It's blind up here up the crest, and then you go into the final two corners here, as Sam has a car just up in front of him. Moves out of the way as he goes into the pits. Out of the final corner Sam goes. It's going to come across the line to start a new run. So let's stay on board with him through turn 1. Very high speed. Into turn 2 now. We want to keep the car on the inside. Want to stay off the grass, though very easy to hit. Also that rumble strip on the inside is easy to hit as well. Then up the hill here. It's also really difficult to keep the car under control over there, as the car wants to step out as it gets light. Into the hairpin. Going towards the back side of the circuit, which is also where the museum is located, just on the right hand side there on the top of the screen. We're going to face that museum just now. This is a triple apex chicane, I guess you could call it. As you go onto the back side of the circuit, museum just on the left. Then you go towards the chicane here again, flat out. Pretty easily in these cars. If you get a good run up here, you can overtake into the roller coaster, as we all refer to it as. And then once again back into the final two corners, taking as much speed as you can in this corner. It's really difficult to do so though, because you don't think you can take as much speed as you actually can. But Sam across the line again to finish a lap at Barber Motorsports Park with 8.5 minutes left, as he jumps up to P8. Nice. Sounds good. Thanks, Simon. I appreciate that. So currently the top 13 is within a second of each other. Everybody in the 1 minute 7s, which is actually a great sight as well. There aren't any, or many IndyCar leagues I should say, out there that have a field this close on the road courses. Of course, the Indycar is a very diverse car. You race on road courses, street courses, short ovals, big speedways, intermediate speedways, whatever you have not. So it's really impressive to see that these guys are all at such a similar pace level, which is only going to create more excitement for us on the broadcast, for you guys, the viewers, of course, watching. As the field is going to be very close all on. So 7 minutes left in the season opening qualifying session. I don't know how much time we're gonna have in the race to do this again, so I'm just gonna do it just to be safe, as we have a car crashing in the background there. The sponsor of this race, Vopsy iRacing Paints. It's the Vopsy race of Barber. Here's the slideshow once again. Plenty of IndyCar paints, but she also does different cars. Vilda, that is. Vopsy lowercase iRacing on Instagram is how you can contact Vilda. And I believe it's the one, yeah, this one is so beautiful. I don't know what it is, but it just looks great. This one isn't so bad either. I really like that pattern there. Yeah, like I said, Vilda does many different cars for iRacing. She charges a little bit of money, but it's definitely worth it though. So once again, Vopsy lowercase iRacing on Instagram is how you can contact Vilda for your iRacing paints. For yourself or for your team. So Daniel Dinsdale, we're going to pick him up right now, is the first driver to dive into the 1 minute 6s with a 0.8, that is. That's a very fast lap time. Will he be able to improve that across the line? Doesn't show up, so I don't think it was an improvement as he locks up into turn 2. That's going to ruin his lap, at least on this run. Still plenty of time to go back into the pits and try again though. Try to do a quick rundown of the teams that everybody's racing for. I'm not super familiar with these guys yet, and those of course on the grid, but hopefully as the season goes on that will improve. But Daniel Dinsdale racing for SMS Racing. And we got Henry Bennett, and I believe he races for Powerslide. He does Powerslide Motorsports. Got Will Lyon also for SMS Racing. Then we have Andreas Eik for Team Talent. And Andreas finished very high up the order in the IES race on Sunday at Motegi. Not 100% sure where he finished exactly anymore, but it was near the podium, so a very strong run for him there. We got Matthew Levine also for SMS Racing. Then we have David Saranzo for NSH Racing Team. I think that's a new team, at least to the PMRL. Then we have Erika Lindström and Erika races for Indy Alliance Racing 1. I believe there are 2 Indy Alliance Racing teams over here. Of course you have a maximum number of drivers you can field as a team, so they are all on the same team, just not officially. We got Sam Blackwood for Wyvern Racing in the pits now. Just briefly mentioned as well, Sam definitely has the pace to be near the front, just sometimes struggles for consistency. Got Alan Roussel, as he is letting Henry Bennett by there, I believe that is. And he is also on the NSH Racing team, so teammates to David Saranzo. Then we have a new driver that I've never really seen before, so I'm gonna try to pronounce this name. Connie Naslund is hopefully close enough. Connie also races for Indy Alliance Racing 1. And I don't see the sign up of Jesper Orman on the Discord, but he's also on Indy Alliance Racing. So then we have Anna Jorvi. And she actually had a few very impressive runs last season as she goes for a grip through the grass and into the wall as well. On the back straight with a minute and a half left in qualifying. She is racing for 89 Motorsports. As she's going to tow to the pits to try again. If she is going to go out now, she might have just enough time to start another lap. But Sam Moore representing Taylor Mills Racing. So a minute left in qualifying. The drivers on their final runs now. Most of them anyway. So Daniel Dinsler gonna come across the line to start his final run now into turns 1 and 2. Might be a potential pole lap. So we're gonna go on top with Daniel. Up the crest over here. Car gets really light as I mentioned earlier. But Daniel keeps it under control into the heavy braking zone of turn 5. Then we're gonna go up the hill again, down into this chicane. And you really want to take as much of that curb as you can, just to take as much speed as you can as well. Daniel gonna get a tow of, is that Will Lyon? It might just be, yes it is Will Lyon, as he is on a lap as well, I believe. Into the roller coaster again. Just committing yourself to this is so hard because you don't know where the track goes. As Daniel has a nice slide up the hill. Now into the final corner. Daniel definitely wrestling his car around here, so I'm not sure if this is going to be a quicker lap or not. Certainly doesn't look like it. I'll be impressed if it is quicker. Across the line he goes. And I do not think that was an improvement. Henry Bennett though up to second. He is in the wall in the final corner, I believe that is. It's difficult to tell from this angle. But Matthew Levine on his final run as well into the final corner. Let's see what he can do. Currently 6th fastest. As time is up and he is the only car left to do a run. He finishes his lap and goes to stay 6th fastest. So that's qualifying complete for the Vopsy.com race of Barber. As the cars are gonna grid up now for this 67 lap race at the Barber Motorsports Park. Indycar in real life, first raced here in 2010. And now 12 years later we're doing it in the PMRL and iRacing. So looking at the qualifying results. As for some reason it's not showing the pole sitter, but Daniel Dinsdale on the pole position. Henry Bennett starts P2 alongside Daniel Dinsdale on the front row, that is. Will Lyon and Andreas Eick on the second row. Then we have David Soransel and Matthew Levine on the third row. With Erke Lindstrom and Alan Roussel on row 4. Row 5 is Sam Blackwood and Connie Naslund. Taylor Mills and Jasper Orman on row 6. Anna Jorfi and Sam Moyle on row 7. Joshua Tucker in the 15th position. And Joshua is going to be on the final row, row 8. Then we all have admins in the session. And Simon Hoffman is actually going to start from 19th officially, but he will be racing. He's just got the admins in front of him, so he's going to be on, well, I guess we could consider it alongside Joshua Tucker. I don't know how you can consider that, but oh well. So this is warm-up. 5 minutes left for the drivers to really dial in the race setup for them. Of course, you have the in-car adjustments, the anti-roll bars. You have the brake bias, of course, like you always have. And also the fuel map. I think most drivers have their preparation sorted though, but just for some final checks, it's always nice to have some extra time. And this will be the first indication of who might be fast on the race setup. Of course, you have more fuel. Even though it is a fixed setup league, qualifying pace and race pace are still two very different things, which is something I'm gonna bring up plenty of times this season, especially on the ovals. More specifically Iowa, for example. Some drivers are just really good in qualifying and they're still solid in the race, but just a little bit less, and they fall off and finish a little bit lower than where they started. But let's see if we can grab a TV angle here. It's very nice looking, of course, but I think these trackside shots are a little bit prettier. So the first few drivers putting times on the board for the warm-up session, as we are watching Henry Bennett for Powerslide Motorsports into the final corner. But in terms of race strategy, you have the red ultimate tires and the black primary tires. The reds are faster, but they fall off a little bit quicker than the primaries that last longer, that are a little bit slower as well. Then you have a 23 to 24 lap fuel window. I believe that will be a pretty straightforward two-stopper. 67 laps it's gonna be tonight. So before we take the green flag in about a minute's time, let's bring up the schedule one more time. So tonight we have the season opener at Barber Motorsports Park. Then next week, the first of 4 ovals at Iowa, which is a short oval, 180 laps. That's why the lap count is so high over there. Then we go to the Nürburgring in Germany, which is the first of 2 European races. The week after that we go to Indianapolis, the first of 3 Triple Crown races of 250 miles in length. Then we go to the streets of Belle Isle in Detroit. Then we have an off week until the second European race at Silverstone, 46 laps there. Then we have the second Triple Crown race at Auto Club Speedway. Then Watkins Glen, which is a regular track that the PMRL visits on the 30th of March. Then we go to Pocono and Laguna Seca to cap things off, as warm-up concludes here at Barber Motorsports Park. So we are gonna grid up for 67 laps, the Vopsy.com race of Barber. Season opener. Will Lion back-to-back championships? Is it gonna be the same? Or will a new driver come to the front? Let's wait and see. This race is gonna be the first sign of things to come for the rest of the season, of course, so I'm for sure very interested to see if Will Lion can go for 3 in a row. So we got the first cars gridding up already. Now you do have to use both compounds in the race, so you might as well start on the blacks and then go reds for the rest of the way, because I do believe the reds are the better race tire. So looking at the weather conditions, just past 10 past 2 p.m. in the sim, 14 km/h wind, 24-degree air temperature, 45% humidity. It's cloudy, which is going to help the reds because the track temperatures will stay a little bit more consistent. Of course, they will cool down gradually as the day goes on as well, but the track temperature is currently, before the green flag, 40 degrees. As the cars roll off for the pace lap, and we are gonna get underway for season 3 of the Prime Meridian Racing League. So let's go over the starting grid one more time. So on the first row we have Daniel Dinster on the pole with Henry Bennett alongside him. He's actually pulled in front of Daniel in just now. Row 2, Andreas Eich and Will Lion. Row 3, Matthew Levine and David Saranzo. Row 4 is Alan Roosmel and Ernie Lindstrom. Row 5, Connie Nassaloon and Sam Blackwood for Wyvern Racing. Then we have Jasper Orman and Taylor Mills on row 6. Row 7 is Sam Moyle and Anna Jorfi. She is on the 14th. Looking forward to see what she can do as she continues to improve. But we got the final cars on the grid, Tucker and Hoffman, as we have the 3 admins behind as well. So they are not actually racing, they're just on the timing screens. So of course, broadcasting on the Prime Meridian Racing League channel all season long. We're gonna be right here on the Wednesdays when we're racing. So make sure to subscribe and enable the bell for notifications when the PMRL is racing. First up tonight, of course, Barber. Next week, Iowa. So two very different tracks to start the season with. Now here's the interesting thing. Daniel Dinsdale is going to start tonight's race on the primary blacks. Henry Bennett is going to be on the reds. So look for Bennett to get an early jump and into the lead to try and pull away as much as he can. Andreas Eich is going to start on the reds as well as Will Lyon. And then we have Matthew Levine on the blacks as well. So it's going to be interesting with all the strategies involved. If you haven't watched any of the races last season, I broadcasted with Trevor Greenfield on the virtualracing.network. I like talking strategy, so here we go for the first race of the PMRL in 2022. It's the 2nd of February, and the first race of the new season is underway.
Green flag, green flag.
Race of Barber. As we go 3 wide into turn 1, there's contact between the two SMS Racing teammates. As Andreas Eich is also involved, he drops down the order as Henry Bennett is in the lead up the hill. Now there is race control here, so we might get a caution on the opening lap, I'm not sure, but still green though. As we make our way into the hairpin for the first time with Will Lyon getting past Matthew Levine on the reds, so the blacks definitely not the ideal tie for the opening lap. Erke Lindstrom's going to have a look up the inside as well. They're going 3 wide again. These guys are crazy. Oh. Erke, she makes it work though. Gets into the 4th position. As we go into the roller coaster for the first time. Henry Bennett already up to a 1.6 second lead. Made it 1.8 actually, as Will Lyon might have issues, but just upgrades from getting by. Into the podium paying positions for now. Will Lyon dropping back a position again. As we complete lap number 1 of 67. We will bring up replays as the race comes down a little bit, so just stay with us for a replay of the start. But let's stay with these guys for now. As Sam Blackwood is on the move, on the blacks as well. Goes up the inside of Matthew Levine, sorry. Sam up into the top 5. Currently the biggest mover with Erke Lindstrom and Connie Naslin, as he also makes up a position on Matthew Levine. So Matthew dropping back a little bit. Maybe some damage from the opening lap. So all the SMS racing cars really look alike, so I'm not sure who was actually involved in that, apart from Daniel Dinsdale, of course, as he has dropped all the way to 15th position as he exits the pits after going down. So starting lap 3 for these guys. As Will doesn't have a great exit. Sam Blackwood's gonna go for the inside of turn 1, will lose the space. And Sam gets by into P4. Very solid move. Just showed his nose, and Will being very conservative on the opening laps. And these guys are still getting racier and racier. That's Connie going up the inside as well. That's Will Lyon locking up into the hairpin. So really struggling on these opening laps is Will Lyon, the reigning series champion. As he's going side by side with his teammate. Matthew Levine as he goes around the outside. That's Alan Roosmel almost hitting Will Lyon. As we are on board with Taylor Mills, right behind Alan Roosmel, and you really can't see a lot going up that hill as Roosmel almost hits Will Lyon again. So Will Lyon, like I said, struggling, and Roosmel is looking for an opportunity to get by right away. Let's go on board with him into turn 1. Will he try a similar move like Blackwood did on the lap before? Definitely shows his nose in there, but Will shuts the door for now. And Roosmel's going to look underneath Will Lyon here in the 7th position. I just had to look for a second there because these guys have been racing so hard. I don't even know where they are anymore. But Roosevelt on the push to pass, trying to make something work. Goes in deep into the hairpin, and I think Will Lyon is able to regroup again now as he gets a little bit of breathing space. So Henry Bennett leads by 3 seconds over David Sorenso. He is half a second clear of Erke Lindstrom as well. That's the top 3, and these guys have a 5-second gap to Sam Blackwood and then Conor Nassen who runs off that top 5. So let's go to the green flag. I want to go slow-mo right away to the blimp angle. So Henry Bennett starts P2 on the reds. Of course, Daniel Dinsdale on the pole position is on the blacks, but he does have the advantage of controlling the pace. So here we go. Henry is going to go to the outside right away, and Daniel's going to try to cover that racing line a little bit to try open up the corner, but his teammate Will Lyon sees an opportunity to go down the inside. So these guys are 3 wide now. Daniel's in the middle, which is not the position you want to be in at all. Will definitely has his nose in there, but I don't think Daniel, his teammate, expected him to be there on the opening lap. Very risky move, and of course Andreas Eich got collected in that as well. Then everybody behind just has to check up. So let's get a real-time speed replay here. Like I said, Henry on the outside line. There's plenty of space for these guys, and Daniel just didn't expect Will to be on his inside and turn into the corner because he didn't think anyone would be there. Just like that, a lap later, Henry has pulled out another second over David Sorenso. So definitely very strong race pace for the Powerstep Motorsports driver. And it looks like the field is slowly calming down again a little bit. I think this notch is got by Will Lyon as well. Let me try and get a replay from this. Oh, Will Lyon's just gone off. I heard something in the background. He's gone off in turn 2. And is back on his way again. I'm trying to find the replay, but I can't seem to find it, unfortunately. So let's go back into the race. Definitely not the greatest of starts for SMS Racing, Reigning's driver and team's champions. Will Lyon down 11 positions from where he started. He started in the 3rd position, of course. Then Daniel Dinsdale from the pole down 14 positions in 15th at the moment. Then there's Andreas Eich, who was, of course, an innocent victim of those 2 SMS Racing drivers colliding on lap 1. He is down in the 16th position, down 12 as well. And here's the biggest mover, Sam Blackwood. Like I mentioned, definitely has the pace. And he is showing that right now. Great start to the opening round of the season for Sam. The storyline of tonight definitely is these two teammates colliding. We know that these guys don't have team orders, they are free to race. I don't think they had this in mind though on the opening lap.
Caution, yellow flag.
And we have a caution on the course. For what it is, I'm not 100% sure. I will try to get in contact there with the lead analyst. That was 4. Of course, race control very busy tonight. Getting word that Simon Hoffman has crashed though, so let's see what happened to him. Turn 4 clips that curb on the inside, gets on the outside curb as well, and oh, head first into the wall, and that car is completely destroyed right away. So Henry Bennett had a 5-second lead. That's gonna neutralize into literally nothing. It's basically gonna evaporate, really. So this is where the strategy is really gonna get straightforward now. Of course, it was a 23-lap fuel window. Now that you have less than 60 to go, you're just gonna split it into when they go green, probably 18 and 18 again. And another 18 to go the distance. So pace car picks up the field on the back straight, or the middle straight. Yeah, Ian Bell's not going to be a happy boss. I think Henry Bennett definitely showed that the Reds really weren't a bad race tire at all. I did think going into this one that it would be the better race tire because of the cooler conditions, but the blacks really just weren't there at all. Sam did do a good job on them though. As one of the only few to do so, as he is in the 4th position in his 27 Wyvern racing car. And he's got Erke Lindstrom up in front. Erke's also moved up 4 positions. So definitely a few drivers on the move. We also have Connie Naslund, by the way. And Connie is also up 4, just like Erke Lindstrom, and also Joshua Tucker up 4. So now these drivers are gonna try to save as much fuel as they can as well, because anything that you can save in the pits as well is gonna mean a shorter stop time. And here we go, we're gonna have a few people come into the pits. So Henry decides to stay out. He wants to keep his track position, doesn't want to lose it or risk losing it. So Sam Blackwood gonna stay out as well. He's gonna move up into 2nd now. Connie Naslund also stays out, and the rest of the field basically comes into the pits. So David surrounds with the pits: Erke Lindstrom, Matthew Levine, Anna Roosmel, Taylor Mills, Jasper Orman, Anna Jorfi, Joshua Tucker, Will Lyon, Daniel Dinsdale, and Sam Moyle. All cars that go into the pits to get fresh Firestones. Definitely seeing a few people go towards the black tire, so that's interesting. Probably want to get them out of the way early. Of course, as the day goes on as well, you want to be on the softer compound. Pace car seems to be going so slow that in the pitch you might be going faster. Got word that the caution was for Sam Moyle, I believe. Sam three-wheeling it through the S's. And this might be it. Let's see. Oh yeah, gets loose on the grass and hits the wall on the back straight. And I don't think anybody was really near him. There's one car coming. It's probably Will Lyon. Yes, it is Will Lyon in one car. As Sam brings it into the pits to get that front end repaired on the right side. Well, we are coming up to the restart on the back straight. As you can see, the lights on the Porsche pace car are out. So we're going to go back to green flag racing on the end of lap 10, starting lap 11. Remember, Sam Blackwood is on the primary tyres, so these tyres will have cooled down a little bit. Hopefully for Sam, not too much. So Henry, he will once again control the pace coming to the green. Looking back from the roll bar camera, and Henry Bennett
Green
picks up the
flag, green
pace again.
flag.
Green flag is back out. We are once again racing at Barber Motorsports Park into turn 1. Henry already starts to pull away on his reds as he gets a solid run out of the corner. Sam not losing as much time as I expected him to, though. Into the hairpin once again. Actually, never mind what I just said. I don't think Henry is going to be able to pull away that much. Because Sam on the cold tires at the moment, at least that's what they should be called, doesn't seem to be losing much, if any, time at all. So once these blacks heat back up again and the reds start to fall off, Sam might be in a very good position to take the race lead in a few laps time. But they're going to the midfield again. As that was Taylor Mills definitely having to get off the throttle there, as Taylor struggled for grip. But we have a car in the pits that Joshua Tucker has gone off as well. And I don't think any of the rear tires are making contact with the grass, so Joshua gonna struggle to get out of the grass. Andreas going in the pits again as well, so not great for Andreas. Surely hoped for better. Just since that first lap crash, it's all gone downhill for him. Really through no fault of his own as well, it has to be said, because he was just an innocent victim. He was just a victim, you know, just an innocent bystander, I should say. So look for him to rebound next week in Iowa. But Sam Blackwood staying very nicely with the race leader, Henry Bennett. Connie Naslund on, as far as I'm aware, series debut, also doing very well indeed. Up 7 positions, both Sam Blackwood and Connie Naslund, so great run for these two so far tonight. As we have 55 laps to go. So it's Alan Rizal right on the back of Matthew Levine. Have a look up to this time, but isn't really close enough to try and break in the maneuver yet. Alan is on the reds though, with Matthew on the blacks. And Alan is one of the cars that pitted as well, so these guys are going to be on fresh tires, which is going to be an advantage for Rizal early on in the stint. Of course, the reds will fall off like we have seen with Henry Bennett. He has actually pulled away to a 1.7 gap again, but definitely not gaining as much as earlier on. At least it seems like for now. So here's Will Lyon going up the inside of Anna Jorfi. Will trying to make up some lost ground. Of course, started at the front. He's now trying to make up that lost ground again after that incident on lap 1. He is racing against Anna Jorfi, actually with Will Lyon as well, to move him up a spot back into the top 10 as he tries to climb through the field back towards the front, as I mentioned. He's got 2 cars just in front of him. There's a little bit of a gap towards Alan Rizal. Oh, that's Taylor Mills getting so close to Jasper Orman. Will has to get on the brakes a little bit harder into the penultimate corner. Now the final corner. Has to get a good run. Does so, but it's about the same as Taylor Mills just in front as well. Oh, Will's gonna send it up the inside. I think he didn't expect Taylor to brake so early. And again, contact between Will Lyon and another driver. Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened. I don't think Will expected Taylor Mills to brake so early. I don't see any damage on Will Lyons' car though, but Taylor Mills definitely not gonna be happy. As that left side of the car is completely destroyed. Contact with Will Lyon as I'm trying to find a replay. It's so difficult to find it sometimes. But Taylor definitely struggling with the 3 wheels on the car. We might get another caution actually, because the last caution was for a car 3-wheeling it as well. And here it is. So yeah, exactly. That's exactly what happened. So Taylor just braked a little bit earlier than Will was expecting, and of course once that happens there's not much you can really do when you're the car behind. It's not really been Will Lyon's day. I think that's an understatement. But he is up into P9. Like I said, doesn't seem to have any damage. Which is interesting because there was definitely some good contact there. So it was good, but it wasn't a very soft hit. So I'm actually very impressed that his car is alive. Oh, there's another car that's gone off in the background. Who is that? Oh, that's Sam Mull. I just moved away from Sam, but on the roller coaster section, that's a blind corner, remember. Loses it. Just takes way too much speed, clips the grass, and once you hit the grass, you can't turn the car anymore. It just wants to go straight on and right into the wall. So, Barber, proving to be very difficult for a number of drivers. There's only 12 still running on the lead lap. It might become 11 sooner rather than later as well, as there's another car that moves by. So Daniel Dinsdale trying to make a move around the outside of Anna Jorfi, has to back off. It's a one-groove corner basically, so Anna has the inside and dictates that corner. But Will definitely trying to get by Anna to move himself back up into the top 10. Daniel definitely looking for a gap, wants to make that move as soon as possible. Gets a very solid run out of the final corner. Picks up the draft. Has to stay patient though. He's gonna try to switch back here. Oh, just gets a little bit of oversteer as well here now, so that's not gonna be great for his exit. I was gonna say you're gonna try to cut back, but just didn't get the exit that he needed to make that move. Will Lyon though, right on the back of Jasper Orman as well. So the two SMS Racing drivers trying to recover at least some points here tonight in the season opener. But Will and Daniel definitely not used to being in the midfield. These guys very much the top drivers in the series over the past 2 seasons. A few moments ago, David Saranza got by Connie Naslin. I'm trying to find that on the replay just to show you guys. here it is. So gonna send it up the inside, Connie is, and quite an easy move. Well planned, nice and late on the brakes. That's David, sorry, moving up in front of Connie. I apologize, but David into the podium positions. As we go back to these guys. Daniel Dinsdale also got by Anna Georgie. Just as we looked away to that other pass for the podium. But here is Daniel Dinsdale. Anna went wide and deep into turn 5, and Daniel just went for the gap and took the place. It was a nice open gap that Anna left there. Made a mistake. And now these two teammates are grouped up together again. So Daniel started on the pole, Will Lyon on the 3rd position. These two collided at the opening lap in turn 1. I'm sure there were some things over the voice chat said, like, hey, let's take it a little bit easier going forward this race. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to put those in the YouTube chat as well. If I can, I'll be happy to answer those. If not, I think Jessica's in the chat, the league boss. And Daniel definitely pushing the limits of Barber Motorsports Park, getting 2 wheels on the grass as well. Don't want to take too much risk though. So Daniel really close to his teammate out of the final corner. And these two aren't really able to make any moves on Jasper Orman yet. They have been right behind him for the last 2 or 3 laps. Really not making any progress on getting by. So Daniel's gonna set Will Lyon up for a pass for position. Will Lyon gonna go to the racing line. He's gonna go late on the race. Daniel Dinsdale is up the inside. Nice and clean pass. I don't think Will really fought that too hard. He doesn't want to have another. He doesn't want to have a repeat of lap 1. It's giving and taking as well sometimes from your teammates. So similar on pace. So Dinsdale up into the 9th position. He is now going to try to get by Jasper Orman. I don't think we are too far away from seeing the first round of pit stops from those that stayed out under that yellow. Of course, if you pitted under that yellow, that window will be extended by about 10 laps. As we have the caution on lap 9. So here's Daniel definitely setting up Jasper Orman, taking a little bit of a different line, trying to cut back to the inside like we tried earlier, but then he got wheel speed. He didn't this time though, gets a very nice run. He's gonna have a look at the inside, but not much more than that. Has to stick behind for a little bit longer. Jasper also on the primary tires, by the way, so no real case of tire fall off between these two. As Daniel definitely takes a much nicer line through that back straight chicane. Not close enough to go for a move in this roller coaster section as well. It's possible to pass there for sure, but you have to get a better run than that to do so. I speak from experience, by the way. Tried to move there in the past, didn't really work out, so Vietnam flashbacks. Daniel once again having a look up the inside, but as I've said a few times already, not really much more coming off it than that. Just a look. Got really close to the gearbox though of Jasper Orman in turn 2. Into the hairpin, turn 5. just showing himself in the mirrors of Jasper Orman. Trying to find push to pass info on my SDK gaming software. Can't seem to find it. Oh, there it is. So Daniel Dinso has 9 push to passes left. That's 1 less than Jasper Orman has. He still has all 10 left. As these guys continue to battle for that position. I want to move to this group of cars. These guys have been very close together for the last few laps. That's Daniel Dins on the push to pass though, gonna make a move around the outside here. At least he's gonna try to do so. He's gonna hold it there. Still side by side, Jasper leaves him the space. They're gonna go side by side into the museum corner. Daniel's got the inside, which is the right, quite literally the right side, but also the right side to be on to make that pass. As he gets up into P8. This is Anna Roussel in the 7th position. Right at the back of this group of cars. That's Mathieu Levine going up the inside. There's a little bit of chaos here actually. That's a car going in the grass as well. But Levine moving past Erke Lindstrom into the final 2 corners. Gets up into the 4th position. Currently the best running SMS racing car. Erke Lindstrom drops to P5. Alan Roussel also gets by Connie Nathan, who went into the pits, and he was one that didn't pit under that yellow. So Connie gonna go to the blacks to complete his tire requirement. Of course you have to use both compounds. But, Sam Blackwood 2.5 seconds behind the race leader, Henry Bennett. He's been here since the restart. Sam Blackwood that is. And Henry Bennett in the lead. But Sam definitely on for a good result if he can keep this going, and I really hope that I do not jinx him, so I'm not going to... Oh, Henry Bennett! Oh, Sam Black was gonna just slip by. Henry Bennett just spun, going into the pits, clipped the grass, spun around. He's got wing damage, so not great, but Sam Black was gonna take the lead of this race. Trying to find the replay. Here it is. It just happened already, so we're gonna have to go back manually to see what happened to Henry Bennett. But the race leader all night long so far, and just as I said, goes into the pits, just locks the... I'm not sure if he locked the fronts or the rears or not, but he definitely slid into the corner there and clipped the grass, and once you hit the grass there's no way of saving the car. And actually hit the wall as well there to get that front wing damage. So Henry back on his way on the blacks, got the damage repaired, but he is a long way behind Sam Blackwood on a similar strategy in terms of pit laps. He is on the reds, Henry Bennett's on the blacks now. So once all this cycles through, I believe Sam Blackwood will be in the lead. But at the moment though, David Saranzo is going to lead his first lap of the night, which is going to give him a bonus point as well in the championship. Apologies about the bot in chat, by the way. I will see if I can remove that. I will not have the PMRL count on the phone. It doesn't seem like. So Jessica, can you please do that for me? Alex in chat asking what's the procedure for calling cautions. I am not sure on that exactly. I think Jessica can also give you a more detailed explanation on that one, but I do know that the reasoning for that first caution was a car 3 wheeling it through the S's, or as we call it, a roller coaster all night long so far, and we're going to continue to do so because it is a roller coaster. So Saranzo has an 8.5 second lead over Mathieu Levine. The top 8 have all pitted at the end of lap 9, so in about 7-8 laps these guys are going to come into the pits as well. The first car that pitted on lap 25 is Henry Bennett now. Oh, Sam Blackwood's had an issue again. Oh, you just gotta feel bad for the guy. He can't catch a break. He always has the pace, but he just... I feel that disappointment right there. So Sam Blackwood has damage to his left side of the car. It's gone off somewhere. Let's go get a replay. Oh, that's definitely a visual issue right there, because the steering wheel's not moving. Oh, that's awful luck right there. So Sam didn't actually do anything wrong. Let's go back a little bit further, see if we can find what happened. Oh, it started here already. Okay, so going into the final corner here. Nothing going on at the moment. Just goes on the front straight. And his wheel actually has issues right there. I think it just disconnected or something. The pedals are still working because he's still accelerating, but Sam just unable to control the car. And that's heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. He had a solid lead over Henry Bennett. I don't want to hurt the guy by saying this, but Sam might have been on for his first win in the league. Oh, that's heartbreaking for real. Oh my goodness. So Sam Blackwood didn't put a foot wrong himself, just his equipment failing. And that's gonna move Henry Bennett back up into the provisional race lead. But he also had an issue, remember, when he pitted about 5 laps ago. Slid through the grass into the wall, got damaged, which actually gave Blackwood the race lead. So absolute heartbreak for Blackwood, I have to say. Sam in chat also. Man, I feel your disappointment so much. You are doing an amazing job out there today, man. You can definitely be proud of that. I know it doesn't help you much with how you feel right now. I definitely know how upset you are. But man, you are amazing out there. It has to be said. Quickly catching up with these guys though. Erke Lindström is defending from Alan Ruzel and Daniel Dinsdale, who are right behind Erke, of course. She's on the blacks. We got Alan Ruzel on the reds, and then Daniel Dinsdale on the blacks as well. But yeah, Sam's thing right there, I don't even know what to call it. That was just... yeah, that was interesting to say the least. But it definitely looked like a wheel issue right there, because the wheel stopped moving. But we are coming up towards halfway in tonight's Vopsy.com race of Barber. I believe it's calmed down a little bit. Hopefully nothing is going to happen as I show this, but let's bring in the slideshow once again. Vopsy lowercase iRacing on Instagram is how you can contact Vilde Walling. She does amazing paints for mainly the Indycar, but also different cars. Like the Ford GT, I believe this is. And also some touring cars and GT cars. So Vopsy lowercase iRacing on Instagram is the place to be for your iRacing paints. As we have Daniel Dinsdale into the pits on lap 32. The end of lap 31 for him, starting lap 32 now. is gonna go to the Reds again. He is gonna try to make up some ground on a slightly shorter stint. Oh! Tries to get on the power. Oh, did he hit the wall? I think he just hit the wall. Wasn't a big hit though. Tried to get on the power, clipped that bump, and just looped around. So I don't know what's going on tonight, but so many people are having issues. Of course, it doesn't show me the replay properly again. So right out of the pits, Daniel goes, clips that bump, and car just spins around. Not much you can really do. It's always so tricky on cold tires to control the car. I've done it plenty of times myself as well. I'm sure everybody who has raced these cars in iRacing has done that at some point. But it's so difficult sometimes to control the car on cold tires because you simply don't have any grip. Remember, there's no tire warmers in Indycar, especially not in the sim. So the tires are pretty much ice cold as you leave the pits, and it really takes a good lap or two to really warm them up. And funnily enough, even the Reds, they take really long. They actually take longer than the Blacks to warm up towards their operating temperature. But Will Lyon is up into 4th place again. Climbing back up towards the front. In the meantime though, we had David Saranza also pit. He rejoins in 7th. So that leaves Matthew Levine out in the lead, and actually he goes into the pits as well. Berke Lindstrom and Alan Roussel gonna follow him in. So these three gonna get new Firestones on the car as well. So Will Lyon gonna take over the race lead for the first time tonight. Funnily enough, and that sounds really weird to say. Will Lyon, the first time tonight, he's gonna lead a lap. Jasper Orman also in the pits for Indy Alliance Racing. Stops in his pit stall. And I'm curious to see if he's gonna go to the Reds as well. He goes back to the Blacks. Well, Alan Roussel on the Reds, Erke Lindstrom towards the Blacks again. Henry Bennett still on the Blacks as well. Levine has gone back to the Reds. So remember what I just said, it actually takes longer for the Reds to warm up because they have a higher operating temperature than the primary Blacks. That's also the reason why the Reds are faster, but they go off earlier. If you're wondering why is one tire harder than the other, it's not like there's more air in it or less air. It's the rubber compound, which is actually softer. Softer compounds give you more grip, of course. Oh, as Levine has an issue, skates through the grass, but regroups the car and no real issues. But Henry Bennett's going to be right on his gearbox as well, as Anna Jorfi and Will Lyon are in the pits. Will going to go to the Reds, and Anna is going to go to the primaries once again. So pit strategy definitely being an interesting factor tonight, which is great to see. But David Saranza is going to retake the race lead. Remember that he pitted about 6 laps ago. That's actually 4 laps ago. So the strategies at this point are closing in on each other. Remember that we had a few drivers pit under that first caution, which was Saranza was one of. Then you had Henry Bennett, he stayed out, but he pitted on lap 25. So the window is actually closed in by 2 laps since then, which means the strategies are 2 laps closer, so about 7 laps difference now. It's been a very chaotic Foxy.com race of Barber, which took the green flag about an hour and a half ago. Actually, that's not correct. I don't know why I'm saying that. It's an hour ago. Of course, it started with the 2 teammates, Will Lyon and Daniel Linsdale, colliding. Will trying to have a look at the inside, but Daniel didn't really expect him to be there. He turned into the corner, and he had Henry Bennett on his outside. Henry was able to drive by, but the two teammates collided and had major damage. So we got that repaired, and we're back on the way. Of course, Andreas Eyck was a victim of that as well. He never really recovered from that. He lost a lap and really never recovered from that, as I said. Then we got a caution on lap 9 for Taylor Mills. As Taylor was freewheeling it around the roller coaster section. So we got a caution for that. Taylor actually managed to stay on the lead lap. Currently runs in P11. But also didn't really have a great race tonight. Jessica, you're completely right. It really looks like the race no one wants to win. It's like Monaco in 1996 it was? Yeah. It's not quite as extreme though. It's not the race leaders that are crashing out or blowing up engines or whatever it was in Monaco. Definitely a race of attrition, it has to be said. But in all of that attrition, we still have quite a lot of cars still running very closely together. Of course, David Sarans has a 5.5 second lead. Then there's only a 1.5 second gap from Levine to Bennett. Then Lindstrom and Lyon are within half a second of each other. Then there's a bit of a gap to Rosell and then to Naslund again as well. But then there's Orman and Jorfi very close together too. And then Dinsdale and Mills aren't too far off each other as well. So still a few battles going on. Speaking of battles, actually, let's go to Will Lyon and Erke Lindstrom. Right as I wanted to go to them. Will Lyon makes the move in the penultimate corner, gets by Erke Lindstrom. Of course, I just missed that pass, so let's bring up that pass and see what happens. And how Will did that. So Erke goes in very wide, outbrakes himself, and Will Lyon sees the door open and walks right through it. So into P4 Will Lyon goes. Sam Blackwood also got past Simon Hoffman. And Sam just made a mistake there, and Sam around the outside there. Of course, Sam led early on. After Henry Bennett, earlier on I should say, not early on. But Sam led the race after Henry Bennett made a mistake, just controlled the pace, had a very healthy lead. And then had technical issues, which actually came at the worst possible time. You have races where you're like, it's not really a problem if it happens now, but Sam was leading and he might have been on for a race win, and to then have that taken away from you by technical issues is just completely heartbreaking. But Sam running in the 13th place, as there's a car just up in front of the track. That was Joshua Tucker, and Sam just about avoids Joshua. So yeah, we are definitely in the final half of this race. Well over halfway. So much has happened. There's still a long way to go, of course. As Henry Bennett is right behind a lap car. He's going to move out of the way. That's Sam Blackwood in the 27. So Henry did have Sam just in front of him. That's going to cost him a little bit of time. Will Lyon going to close the gap. He's going to try to take over that position and get himself back on the podium positions. As we have 27 laps to go. Just as I was looking on my phone, so Will Lyon goes up the inside, takes the position from Henry Bennett in turn 5. reason I was looking on my phone, by the way, is just when I planned something for you, the viewers. It's something fun, so whenever I will show it, but Will Lion up the inside here into turn 5, later on the brakes than Henry on the blacks, Will on the reds, simply more grip for Will. I want to go on board Will here, not using push to pass, just gets a good exit out of turn 3 and up the hill through turn 4 and takes the position. Simple as that. My voice is even struggling already. So David Saranso continues to lead. He's actually losing a little bit of time to Matthew Levine, who is the strongest SMS racing driver at the moment, with his teammate Will Lion right behind him. But Matthew Levine and David Saranso both up 4 positions from the start of the race. Will Lion in the same position he qualified in. Of course, a lot has happened in between, as I dropped something. Henry Bennett started on the 2nd position, spun entering the pits, and was trying to recover from that, but like we just saw, lost the position to Will Lion. Erke Lindström up 2 positions, and so is Alan Rizal. Yeah, Connie Naslund is up 3 positions, Jesper Orman and Anna Jorfi up 4 positions, as these two are actually running close to each other. And Anna, a solid job tonight. 24 seconds of the race lead, which is really not too bad. I know that Anna is definitely getting up to speed with this car on the road courses. I know that last season she really started out in this car, so steady progress, but it definitely shows because Anna is putting in strong runs after strong runs and continues to improve race by race as well. As these two make their way around a lapped car. Oh, Anna clipping that curb on the inside, that's gonna unsettle the car. I think she was going to get a good exit out of there, to be honest. Just missed the apex of the corner. But Anna, from what I've seen over the last lap, I think she's a little bit quicker than Jesper Orman. But I don't think she's quick enough to really get by him, so we'll keep an eye on these two. Jesper might make a mistake as he just went in a little bit deep there in turn 5. Still has company from Alan Rizal. These two have been near each other pretty much all night long. Apart from these two, the field is slowly stretching out. We are inside 25 laps to go, 24 to go in fact. So the final part of the race is where you gotta make it happen. This is the point in the race where everybody will stop playing nice if they have been at home. And where you really see drivers going for it and actually pushing the limits of the car and the track. As Rizal gets a really nice run onto the back straightaway through the chicane. Just not close enough to make a pass happen yet. push to passes as we have Henry Bennett in the pits. So this is going to be the final stop for Henry Bennett. Let's see which ties he goes to, but push to passes. 7 left for David Saranso, 10 both left for Levine and Lyon. Which is actually quite impressive, I have to say. I thought Lyon would have been through most of these, but he is not. And there's 2 left for Eric Lindstrom, so Eric definitely on the button quite a bit tonight. 7 pushes left for Rizal. Then there's 10 left for Naslund as well. This might be Naslund's first race in the Indycar. Maybe he didn't map the push to pass yet. Or in the PMRL, I should say. So Rizal gonna start using the push to passes a little bit more. Just burned one right there. Actually lost some momentum behind Eric Lindstrom. Maybe made a mistake, tried to use the push to pass to make up some ground. We got 13 viewers in chat. Welcome everybody. Glad to have you all with us here on the Barber Radio and Racing League channel. As you couldn't tell from my reaction, I'm actually really impressed that we have 13 viewers. Never broadcasted for this many people before. But as I said, glad to have you all with us. Of course, if you aren't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure that you do, because all the broadcasts for this series are going to be right here. Of course, next week the Iowa round, first of 4 ovals in the season, which is going to be a very interesting race. I raced there myself in IES a few weeks ago, and if you even miss a strategy call by 2 laps, the caution can fall at the worst time possible, because at Iowa, if you pit under green, you're going to lose 2 or 3 laps. If that happens to you, your race is going to be done. So look for the oval drivers to really shine there, as they will, especially in traffic, know what to do, when to save fuel, when not to. Maybe the less experienced oval drivers to struggle, because dirty air in Iowa is also going to be a very important factor. I know that in the fixed series, people tend to use the high line, which actually opens up the inside line, which in theory will be the way around. The way iRacing works is not completely realistic. Sometimes the high line is just simply better because you have more contact. Alex, you're completely right. 12 and whatever this is, that's some Bobby chat, that's right. Gotta make it sound more impressive, man. We have 13 viewers, not 12. So trying to work out strategy here just in a moment. So David Saranso still has to make one more stop, and so does everybody until Henry Bennett. And right as I say that, Jasper Orman, that's not Jasper Orman, sorry, Connie Naslund's going to make his way into the pits. Henry moves by into P8. So this is the final round of pit stops. Connie goes to the Reds as well. So he's going to go for a fast last stint. Will Lyon definitely closing in on David Saranso, but not by that much. The gap was about 4 seconds 10-ish laps ago, as David's going to make his way to pits. Gotta be careful here, not make a mistake here so late on the race. Doesn't do that. Gonna make his way into the pits as well. Will Lyon's gonna stay out. Gonna lead another lap. He's got Matthew Levine, his teammate, right behind him. So the 2 SMS cars, as I mentioned, on the climb. It's not been a great start to their race, as we have a few issues, it seems. There we go. Not not sure what happened there. I apologize. But we are back. Maybe temporary lost connection. As I say that, let's actually check if the stream is still running. Still seems to be running, so we're all good. I will apologize again for that. Fastest lap in the race though, Andreas Eich, 1 minute 7.57. Again, not being the race that he had hoped for, was involved in that one incident between the two SMS cars, as I just talked about again. And he has just been running around trying to set some fast laps, because there's not much that he can really do. He's down 2 laps, you're not really going to gain anything, as he is creating a gap, it seems, to go for another fast lap. As we pick up the line again. Still 10 pushes of the button left, and so does Matthew Levine. We got Erke Lindstrom with 1 push left, so Erke definitely using that push to pass. Andreas Eich on the push to pass as well just now, so he is going for a fast one again. For reference, he's got 4 left at the moment. Anna Jarvis still has 8 pushes left, so plenty for her to use. As David Saranzo on the reds on his final stint, closing in on Anna, hopefully for David. Anna's gonna pit in a lap or 2, because then he will have caught up to her. Definitely don't want another car in your way when you're pushing for the race win. Of course, he had a 3-second lead over Will Lyon, as Matthew Levine makes his way into the pits as well for his final stop. He will take the reds again for the final 17 laps, as Anna Jorfi stays out, which is not gonna be great for David Saranzo. So these two are about equal on push to pass for what it's worth. And Jasper Orman not really able to stay with David Saranzo. Of course, he's got fresh tires as well. So, oh, Will Lyon, oh, he almost hit the wall going into the pits, but keeps it going, as he also is going to make his final stop of the night. Very good recovery drive from Will Lyon. Of course, we know that Will is one of the fastest drivers in the field. Had 2 incidents. One with his teammate Daniel Dinzo at the start, and also one with Taylor Mills, I believe it was, about halfway into the race. But back on his way again, as he rejoins just behind Anna Jorfi and right behind David Saranzo. So this is the race for the win. Remember that Saranzo pitted 3 laps ago. Will's just pitted now, as you saw, so Will's gonna have the freshest tires. It won't matter much towards the end, but those 3 laps before Will's tires go off are gonna be the ones where he has to make it work. If he wants to get by David, it has to be in those 3 laps, because David's tires will be falling off in a moment as well. Well, I say fall off, they won't be at their best anymore, let's say. And I think he knows that as well, as he's pushing to get by Anna Jorfi. Anna pitted at the end of lap 34, so she's going to go into the pits definitely in the next 2-3 laps, but David has to make something work as soon as possible, because Will Lyon's tires aren't quite up to temperature yet, but they will be in about half a lap, so he has to make this work right now. Because, like I said, Will Lyon has a small tire advantage, which also will mean a slight pace advantage towards the end of the race. So David on the push to pass. I think he's going to send it up the inside here, and he will. It's going to go late on the brakes. Anna sees him at the last moment there, gives him the space. David's going to go for the gap and take the position up into P2. This is exactly what he needed to do. Going to cover the inside so to make sure that Anna doesn't go for the inside as David launches his car in the air for a second as he goes through the museum corner. Hopefully for him he didn't take any damage, but Will Lyon's going to be right behind Anna. There's also a small voice crack. Again, 2 voice cracks in very short succession. This might be the lap where Anna's going to pit. No, she still stays out. So this is going to be good for David now then, because Anna is going to not really hold up Will, but Anna will be in his way. So it's not going to be ideal, but of course David had that inconvenience a few moments ago, as well as Will again really gets close to the back end of another car. Definitely really likes to go in deep. So 13 laps to go. Urke Lindstrom currently still leads, but Urke still is yet to pit. So the race for the lead really is between David Saranzo and Will Lyon. And these two are right with each other. So this is literally the race for the win. So we're going to stay with these guys for as much as we can. Of course, if something else happens, we will go have a look. But until the finish, we're basically going to be with these two. So here we go. It all comes down to the final 13 laps. The final strategy, the pit strategy, the final stint I should say. These guys are going to battle it out for the win. I know Will wants this because he hasn't really had the race that we had hoped for. As I mentioned many times tonight, had those 2 incidents. He will be delighted with the win tonight, but so will David Saranzo. I believe David hasn't won in PMRL yet, so he's going for his first. Will going for his whatever how many. Of course, reigning series champion on the push to pass. Gonna have a look. Definitely right behind David, so putting on the pressure. And David's definitely backing him up in the corner. Gotta be careful here, Will. Don't hit him up the rear of the hill. And he manages to do so, but David gonna go defensive to the inside. Will gonna have to go the long way. We're gonna try to run him out wide on the exit here, but Will Lyon with a super exit gets the position. Well, doesn't quite get the position yet, but gets the inside from Museum Corner. The two go side by side, and David Saranzo has to yield. Will Lyon goes in wide though. Doesn't get a great exit. David's gonna be right with him still. As we go through the chicane on the back straight. I think it might just be about done. Will into the race lead. David gonna stay with him though. But Will basically from almost last back to first. David on the push to pass again, trying to stay with Will, but I don't think he knows that Will still has 10 pushes of push to pass left, and I'm actually not sure. This might not be up to date at all for Will. It still shows up as 10, but I'm pretty sure that they use push to pass, so that will work. Maybe it's broken on SDK, I don't know. few laps ago, Andreas Eich improved the fastest lap to a 1 minute 7.16, which is blisteringly quick for race pace. The pole time was a 1 minute 6.8 for reference, so not too far off that. As Anna Jorfi is going to come into the pits for her final pit stop of the night. And she is having a very impressive run tonight, it has to be said. I believe she's going to rejoin in the 8th position after this stop. As she stops for the final time. Gonna go to the Reds, I assume. Yes, she will. She's gonna have a much lighter fuel tank than everybody around her and the freshest tires, so maybe she can still make something work. Connie Naslin's gonna go by with 10 laps to go. Anna might be looking at a P7 finish if she can string those final 10 laps together. Of course, gotta be careful on the cold tires. You can just visibly see the understeer in the car, because the car simply doesn't have that front end grip to make the corner. It's gonna take a lap or two to really get that temperature into those tires. As Taylor Mills is also down a lap. So the top 10 still running on that lead lap. Slow car on the inside of the pace. Couldn't really tell who that was. Oh! That's Andreas Eich. I believe it was. Yes, it is Andreas Eich. Racing Anna Jorfi is not really what you want to do though, because Anna's racing for position. Basically with Connie Nassen 5 seconds in front. But I'm gonna go at the inside here. And get track position in front of Anna. David Soranzo on the push to pass again. So he has got one push left. Will still has all 10 left, it seems, which is strange. I'm not really sure what to think of this. I don't really trust SDK on that one. But Lavine was also on the buzzer, so probably gonna look for his personal best lap time. And Soranzo on his final push down the back straight, desperately trying to make a move back on Will Lyon, but I don't think it's gonna really be enough. Because Will has the tire advantage. We have a driver of the day vote planned for tonight, and doesn't seem to be showing up for me personally, but it should be on the YouTube top right corner of the chat. I believe it's where it's located, so if you go there you can vote for your driver of the day, which is something that we have new for this season. I think my personal driver of the day has got to be Sam Blackwood, because he was doing an amazing job and just had technical issues that really took away a win from him, it has to be said, I think. So 6 laps to go. Soranzo surprisingly staying with Will Lyon. think Will Lyon is taking it a little bit easier though. Not to take anything away from Zaranza, but I don't think Will really wants to risk throwing it all away. He's fought so hard to get back up into that race lead. Literally everything that could go wrong for Will went wrong tonight. But yet he still fought through, so an amazing drive from Will as well. Also, by the way, I completely forgot about this. It's really bad of mine. Sorry. Majors Garage is also one of the sponsors of the Prime Meridian Racing League. There is a referral code in the description, which you can use on a Majors Garage purchase. It doesn't change anything for you, the consumer, but a small portion of that money that you spend will go towards PMRL, which will help Jessica and all the other admins involved to run the league. So if you want to get a setup for a league race or whatever, you can help the PMRL out by doing that using the referral code in the description. Again, nothing changes for you. It's still the same amount that you pay, just a little bit of that goes into this league if you use the code. So I want to thank Majors Garage as well for sponsoring the league, both for last season and also again this season. Of course, we also got Pepsi iRacing Paints, which you can follow on Instagram for iRacing paint schemes. You can also contact Phil over there on the gram. But 5 laps to go. It's getting really cloudy out here, so let's bring in the weather, because I think the track temperatures are going to be down quite significantly. Oh yes, they are down significantly. Down 9 degrees from the start of the race. So these reds, I don't think they're going to fall off too much anymore. David Ranzel still right with Will Lyon. The gap just over half a second. Will managing that gap as he's trying to break the draft down the front straight. Levine also slowly closing. The gap is now down to 3 seconds. Max Verstappen drive off the day. Yes, I agree. I remember when it was like that every race in 2016. Oh man, such a meme. I don't know if it's still the same, if it's still just as bad. That was a little interesting. I think in Melbourne 2016, all the Indonesian people voted for Rio Haryanto when he finished at last. They actually had to recount the votes because people were botting them as well. So yeah, those were good times. Back when Driver of the Day first got invented in F1 in real life. And all the wannabe racing series, like all sim racing people are, we all of course want to make it as close to real life, so all these fun little things, we want to have them as well. We all kind of took them over as well, so. Track temperature just went up a degree again. You might think there's not really going to be a difference. You're going to feel it, but it won't be dramatic, basically. Not when they're this cool. Usually when you have track temperatures of 50 degrees, between 45 and 50 degrees, you really feel a huge difference between every degree. But anything colder than that, it just really gets a lot lower, the amount that you lose in terms of good levels. But 3 laps to go now. And just as I thought at the green flag, I wouldn't be talking to Will Lyon and Matthew Levine, perhaps as well. We're gonna be talking to 2 SMS racing drivers after the race again. Well, it just goes to show how far ahead these SMS racing drivers really are of the rest of the field. Just amazing how quick these guys are and how consistent as well. I just got word that something went wrong with setting up the driver of the day vote. But if you guys who are watching, 2 laps to go, please cast your driver of the day votes in chat, and I will count them. And whichever driver has the most votes will win driver of the day. Got 11 viewers in chat, so I'm expecting 11 votes. But white flag is out for Will Lyon. As I mentioned, overcame so many things that went wrong for him. Started at the very start of the race. I was almost going to say the end of the first lap, but the first lap collided with his teammate. Took a little bit of damage, got that repaired under the caution. Fought back through the field, made plenty of passes. Then had another incident with, I believe it was Taylor Mills. Actually didn't take any damage there, which is still a surprise to me, but 2 incidents which of course aren't ideal when you're trying to race in the season opener. The season opener is one of the more important races of the season. If you make a mistake here, it's really difficult to really rebound from that, but he did. Will Lyon through the roller coaster section for the final time. He is gonna go to victory lane once again, the 2-time series champion, with many things going wrong. Just once again, class of the field through the final corner. He is gonna go to victory lane in the Vopsy.com race of Barber. Across the line he goes. David Sorenso gonna come across the line to finish in the 2nd position. Matthew Levine will round off the podium to make it a double SMS Racing podium finish. Henry Bennett is gonna come across the line in the 4th position. He was leading at one point in the race, made a mistake in the pits. Really never recovered from that. But Will Lyon once again with the epic race pace. Let's see what the SMS Racing guys have planned for us this time. We will run out of fuel. You might have run out of fuel. So as the rest of the field comes across the line, we will wait for the race results to become official. Got currently 1 driver of the day vote in chat. Like, we can do better than that, guys. Come on. Where's that enthusiasm? It's been a great race. So there we go, race results are official on iRacing at least. Of course, we might still get post-race penalties, but why is it again not showing me the results as they should be? Ah, there we go. So Will Lyon wins for SMS Racing in this league. Of course, he's racing for Indy Alliance in the Open Series and other leagues as well. But for SMS Racing in PMRL, he wins in front of David Sorenso in the 2nd position, of course. The 3rd position, the final car on the podium, is Matthew Levine, teammates of Will Lyon. And these two, for SMS Racing, once again continue to show what they're made of in this league. Henry Bennett finishes P4. Alan Rizal on, again, I believe his first race in this league. Correct me if I'm wrong after the race, but he finishes in P5. Great run for him, as he's up 3 positions from his starting spot. Erke Lindstrom finishes P6. Daniel Dinsdale still actually comes back to P7. I completely missed that. Daniel Dinsdale all the way back up into 7th. Started from the pole. And like I said, finished 7th. Anna Jorfi P8, Connie Naslund P9, Jasper Orman rounds off the top 10, and also the finishers. The rest of the field all finishes multiple laps down, starting with Sam Blackwood, who led early on in the race, definitely on for a podium. Probably a race win as well, but just got taken away from him due to technical issues. Andreas Eich was involved in that one deal with Will Lyon and his teammates. But still finishes P12. Joshua Tucker 13th, Simon Huffman finishes P14, and Taylor Mills finishes in the 15th position, with Sam Moyle, the final car, on the 16th spot. Then we have Vilda and Jessica, the 2 admins, in 17th and 18th, and also, I think it has to be said, honorary mention to Gary Gotzo, It's my good friend and teammate, also an admin of the series with Race Control. Classified as 19th, of course. The last 3 didn't take the green flag, but that's gonna wrap it up for the race itself. We're gonna have post-race interviews. So the votes in chat, just one. Thanks to Alex. I appreciate that, man. So Sam Blackwood is the driver of the day for the first race of the season. Once again, apologies we didn't get the poll in chat, but we will have that fixed for next week, obviously. So it's time to go on Discord and see if anybody is interested to talk to us. And this is my favorite part, the interviews. As I close down my stuff here to get on Discord. I have to say though, it's been a very great season opener, full of chaos, which is an understatement, but I think it's gonna set the stage for a great season. As I finish up my stuff here on the iRacing sim, let's go over the schedule one final time because my PC is a little bit slow. It can't really close down the sim, so can't go on Discord yet. But next week we go to Iowa. Nürburgring is the 3rd round of the season. Then we go to Indianapolis for the first of 3 Triple Crown races. Then we go to Belle Isle, a week off until Silverstone. Then Auto Club Speedway, Watkins Glen, Pocono, and Laguna Seca. So that is the schedule. There we go. We got Discord working. So let's talk to some people, shall we? All right. I see Matthew and Will are in here. So congratulations to both, first of all. But let's start with Matthew Levine, finishing in the 3rd position. A podium for you, sir. Tell us about it.
Well, don't know what to say, really. I sort of just kept it clean, particularly from my teammates. It was far from a clean race for both of them. Shocking standards, particularly from Will. But I think I kept it clean and was on a decent strategy after the caution came out. 2-stop to the end. I had decent pace, unfortunately not quite enough pace to catch David Soranzo, but I don't know. I just sort of found myself in like when Henry Bennett and stuff, they all pitted, and then when I pitted, I found myself in front of them. Didn't expect it at all.
Yeah, so like you said, definitely a quiet race, kept it clean. That's actually one of the reasons why I didn't really know what to ask you, so sorry for that, but still came away with a podium, so a very solid start to the season. Next week we go to Iowa. Have you raced there in the past, or a new track for you?
I have not, actually. I need to buy the track as well.
Ah, okay. I think you're going to be in for a great time there. It's a great oval.
Yeah, I mean, I'm told it's a fun one to race up, so I look forward to it.
It's definitely a track position race, so if I was you, I would be sweating the core runs to try and get yourself as far in the field as you can. But still, congratulations on the 3rd position. Feel free to send out your shout-outs before we move on to Will.
Shout-outs go to Ian Bell, the big man, the man behind Madness Engine and Project Cars, the Project Cars franchise. Yeah, he's produced a fantastic game, and me and Will, we wouldn't be here without him. So this is for you, Ian.
Perfect. Well, go out and celebrate your podium finish, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right, Will. There you go. I was waiting for you to unmute. Congratulations on another win. So much went wrong for you tonight, but you overcame all of it to come out back on top again tonight. So where do I even start? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know where to start either. It was a really messy race. Turn 1, lap 1 was an absolute disaster. I should never have stuck my nose down the inside of Dan. Unfortunately, he was in engine mode 8. I didn't realise that. He didn't realise that. He was super slow, but at the same time, I should never have gone to the left of him and made it 3 wide. It was just suicide. So, Yeah, apologies to Dan for that, and we got bailed out by the safety car. I'm not sure why the safety car appeared, but it certainly saved the race for us. I should probably apologise to Andreas Ike as well, because he got collected in that incident between me and Dan. So, yeah, to be honest, it doesn't feel like a great result. Obviously, it's a phenomenal result, but it just doesn't feel like it. I had various incidents. I need to watch them back carefully and see, if I need to be doing more apologies, to be honest. What a race. It was crazy.
Yeah, I think you summed that up perfectly. Of course, despite some things going wrong, you still did an amazing job. I mean, you definitely had amazing pace, because you don't come through the field like that for no reason. So you can definitely be proud of your drive tonight. So, next week we got Iowa, which is something I talked to Matthew about as well. Have you raced there before, or is it also a new venue for you? Are you having any expectations for the oval in the first place, or just going in blind?
As usual, I have no expectations when it comes to ovals, but I did run the fixed series last season. Was it earlier this season? And I did an open race as well, and absolutely loved Iowa. It's basically like a tiny super speedway. It's absolutely brilliant. So hopefully we can have a good race. And to be honest, I just want to have a clean race, and wherever I end up. But I just want to keep my noise clean next time. That's for sure.
I understand. Yeah. Well, like I said, you can still definitely be proud of that one. So, good luck for the rest of the season, and we'll just see you then.
Thanks, Julian.
No problem. So we got Sam up here as well. Let's talk to him. Sam, are you here? Are you up for a chat?
Why not?
So, I have to say, I really don't know what to say. It's just heartbreaking. I think for you even worse, but I felt really bad for you. You were controlling the race after Henry made that mistake. You were out in a comfortable lead. You were on for perhaps a race win. What went wrong exactly?
I don't know. I've having these wheel troubles all January. I've only done 2 races in January where in league races, and both of which have cost me race wins with the wheel disconnecting on a straight for no apparent reason. Even though the light's still on, everything was plugged in fine, taking the last turn completely fine, like I did the other 25 other times, and then felt it go. It stopped a little bit at pointing about 11 o'clock. I got control back, but I had no force feedback, so that's what the little wiggle was after that, and then it just went left again, and just off I go into the gravel trap at turn 1, race over.
Yeah, I know luck definitely hasn't gone your way in many of the races. I mean, I've said it many times on the broadcast as well. You definitely have the pace, but once these things start to calm down, I mean, I know you have equipment issues right now, but I know I'm just giving you, my faith in you. I know you can do a good job in this series, so just keep your head up. It will go better at one point. Just gotta keep grinding, and you will get there eventually. I have complete confidence in that. So just keep your head up, King, and get back out there next week. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
I know it's difficult to believe, but it really is that way. So
I've had 21 races now, 3 4th position finishes, and every single time I'm on course for a podium or a win, something bad has to happen, whether or not I'm involved in a crash that happened 30 seconds ago that hasn't been cleared yet, or I have equipment issues. It just doesn't seem to go my way ever in league races.
Yeah, I mean, it is online racing after all, so equipment issues are definitely a part of that. But like I said, I have complete confidence in you. So next week we go to Iowa. I know that you've raced there in another league before, but in terms of this league, any expectations?
I didn't do that Iowa race, the one you're on about. I did 10 laps in practice and gave up on it because it's such a crappy oval.
Oh, okay, cool.
You get 10 laps regardless of what lane you run, and then the tires die, and then it's not fun.
I thought you.
No, I did the practice session and then gave up after 15-ish laps.
Oh, I thought you
Good.
did TI as well there. Okay, well,
Yeah, I never
I'm
went
wrong
there.
on that one. Okay, cool. Well, sorry about that one then, but all right. I guess look forward to seeing you then. Like I said, just keep your head up. You'll get there eventually.
Sure.
So got David Saranzo also with us. Finished in P2. You were on for a great run. You almost got the win. Just came short on that one with Will on the fresher tires, but overall great run. Tell us about your race from the start, how the caution affected your race, if anything at all, and the final few laps battling with Will.
Hello. Yes, as you said, almost. But Will was there. He's double champion. He has a very great pace, and it was impossible, to struggle with him at the end. Otherwise, my race was good. The strategy was to start with white tires and hoping for a full course yellow, and it happened at the beginning. So then let's go for the red tires for the rest of the race. So I'm really happy to be P2 behind Will. Congratulations to him, and also to Matthew, who was not so far from me. I was worried about him as well. And I'm happy because I didn't have a good pace in season 2, and with this result at the beginning of season 3, maybe it calls a good season for me.
Yeah, it's definitely a strong sign of things to come. I mean, if you really are improving by that much, who knows what you can achieve at the end of the season? Because there's plenty of tracks that, well, I want to say similar, but they are actually quite different to Barber. But I guess they have the same principles. So going forward, I think you're going to be in for a very big challenge for the rest of the field. So looking forward to see what you can do. I know you're quite experienced on the ovals. Is that the place that you're looking forward to, Iowa?
Yes, I love this track. I don't race very often on the ovals, but it's something that I like as well. So I would say let's see. And this season it will be different and better for me because I have a teammate in the championship. So I think it's gonna be very cool.
Perfect. Yeah, I must be looking in the wrong places then, because every time when I'm looking at a fixed broadcast, I see you in it. So that's why I thought you were doing ovals a lot.
Okay.
Anyways, look forward to seeing you again next week as well. But that's going to wrap it up for us here tonight. Of course, I had a very hectic season opener. Next week we go to Iowa Speedway for the first of 4 ovals. Then we have the Nürburgring coming up, so that's the first 3 races of the season. So that's what's coming up ahead. Want to thank everybody in chat for watching. We had 13 viewers at one point. It might have been even 14. So I want to thank those people for watching. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Want to thank all the sponsors, Majors Garage and Vopsy iRacing Paints. You can check them out in the description. And yeah, want to thank Jessica for giving me the opportunity to broadcast this as well. It's a great pleasure to do that for you guys as well. So thanks again, and yeah, see you all next week for the second round of the Prime Radio Racing League.